Despite the claim that Barbenheimer may have saved the cinema-going experience over the summer, it appears that this trend may be over already and people are just not engaging with the cinema-going experience as we expected going forward. The success of Oppenheimer in particular being a 3-hour biopic that audiences really got behind, simply being able to make $950 million globally at the box office is astounding. I will give credit to the Barbie movie though, making $1.4 billion globally, but that was an established intellectual property, as it were. Barbie is a Hasbro toy and a brand that many people know about. But this clash with Barbenheimer over the summer, many people thought the cinema-going experience was going to be saved. People thought that we were going to see an end to the comic book movie, which seems to still be in decline. You just have to look at the Marvel's performance, only currently making $187 million globally, highlighting that audiences are just sick of the comic book movie and superhero franchises that have been pushed down our throats for the last 20 years or so. Ridley Scott's Napoleon currently only sits at about 80 million worldwide, making 70 million on its opening weekend, which is quite good. But I can't see this even breaking past 200 million if I'm honest. And Killers of the Flower Moon, Martin Scorsese was really pushing this anti-superhero comic book movie trend, and his films only managed to make 151 million globally. And that may be because of the film's length and the content of the film. It does deal with a heavy subject, and being an R-rated movie, it was unlikely that it was going to break the billion-dollar mark that the industry seems to love hanging itself on. And for the rest of the year, I'm not sure there's going to be another movie that's going to come out that audiences are really going to get behind and push to see it do very well at the box office, both in the United States and across the world. Although I would really like to see this upcoming Godzilla movie, Godzilla Minus One, do well at the box office. And I've currently read some reviews about the film, and I really think people should get behind this. The fact that it was shot on IMAX and is being shown on IMAX is a reason to get up and go to the cinema. We showed the world that with Oppenheimer, we do want to have these films that are made appropriately for the cinematic experience. And we've obviously had Godzilla remakes with the English language, but Godzilla Minus One is a Japanese film and it is made in the Japanese language. And the film is coming out here in the UK and I believe in the USA as well on the 15th of December. And it's not clear if they're going to bother to release dubs of the film or if it will just be subtitled. And I think people need to not be afraid of subtitled films. Director Bong Joon-ho, you may best know from directing the Academy Award-winning Parasite, said in his Oscar-winning speech, "Once you overcome the 1-inch tall barrier of subtitles, you will be introduced to so many more amazing films." And this is completely spot on, but a lot of people don't take this on board, and lots of people would still rather just watch a dub of a movie rather than having to read subtitles. There is so much great foreign cinema out there that's not in the English language, and lots of people should be able to embrace that without a dubbed version of the product and just read the subtitles and embrace the movie for how it was made. And as we're looking for a new film to get behind, to triumph at the box office around the world and hopefully help steer the direction we want cinema to go in over the next decade or so, I think Godzilla Minus One may be a good film to get behind. First of all, many people are aware of the Godzilla IP. Obviously it started in Japan and it started with the men in costumes and it moved on to the Hollywood big blockbuster. We've had the film by Roland Emmerich, which I know was critically panned and people hate that movie. But because of that film, many audiences will have been introduced to Toho and the films of Godzilla. And at the moment we're already gearing up to this Godzilla cinematic universe, which has been introduced with Gareth Edwards' Godzilla, and then we got the sequel to that movie, and King Kong Skull Island, and Godzilla vs. Kong, and now we've got this Monarch series, which is sort of telling this origins of this connected universe in regards to Godzilla and King Kong. And to be honest, the character of Godzilla is probably up there in the iconography of cinema goers, even if you haven't seen the films before. I do believe a lot of people will have heard of the character of Godzilla, this giant lizard that wreaks havoc on cities. And simply because of that, I think that people can get behind this Japanese film, Godzilla Minus One, and bother to go and see it in their local cinemas in the USA and the United Kingdom, and hopefully all across Europe, and just accept that it's a Japanese movie. Yes, it's going to have subtitles, but a lot of directors have said that a great movie is something you can understand with the sound off. And I think that's why cinema is so timeless, because it is mainly the use of images. Obviously there's a great use of sound effects and music and other aspects that just build what makes a film so fantastic. But the idea that if you could watch a film with the sound off and understand what's going on, that's a clear presentation of a story that a director's trying to tell its audience. And if you can just accept that and then move on to the fact that you're going to have to read subtitles, which I don't think is that big of an ask of an audience, I think this film is something we should all get behind. I had initially hoped to do a trailer review and breakdown of Godzilla Minus One. I know it's already come out in Japan and then it's going to hit the global market on the 15th of December. And I think the trailer is really fantastic. I think its visual style is great. It's something very different to what we've seen with the Monarch cinematic universe that they're developing in the United States. And as I've said, people are aware of this character Godzilla throughout cinematic history, and it may be something you can hook onto just to sort of get you through this movie. And from the reviews so far, the movie's supposed to be fantastic. It got a 100% score on Rotten Tomatoes when it first came out. And the fact that this is also going to be a period piece, it's not going to be set in modern day. This is set during the aftermath of the Second World War. And a lot of people don't know about the idea of Godzilla, who comes from the detonation of the atomic bomb. Godzilla in Japanese cinema almost juxtaposes the atom bomb being associated with superheroes, when like American comics and movies, the power of the atom gives characters great strength and superpowers, whereas the argument of Japan, who witnessed and went through the aftermath of having 2 atomic bombs dropped on their country at the end of the Second World War, that was a more devastating, impactful moment in their history, and it certainly wasn't a positive one. So the fact that the atomic bomb helped create this kaiju, this giant lizard that's going to destroy cities and kill lots of people, is very apt for how they represent the aftermath of the Second World War and atomic energy in general. So I'll just read out the premise of Godzilla Minus One just to give you an idea of what the film is about. Here it is. Set at the end of World War II and Japan is defeated and in ruins, our protagonist is Koichi, a pilot who returns to his devastated hometown in Tokyo. He is unwelcome and guilt-ridden for sneaking out of a kamikaze raid in the Pacific. Japan is at its lowest point, and then Godzilla arrives. Obviously, this is not surprising from a Godzilla movie, that Godzilla's going to show up and destroy cities and wreak havoc on the populace. But the fact that this is a Japanese movie, and I know there have been other Godzilla Japanese movies since, like we've got the Gareth Edwards one in 2016, but this is a film I really hope people can get behind, and maybe by the end of the year this is another sleeper hit like Oppenheimer. Well, I say sleeper hit, it was directed by Christopher Nolan, so it was always going to do well at the box office, but not 950 million worldwide. But if the Western audiences could just give this a chance, go and see this film that's going to be shown on an IMAX screen, and sort of just fall in love with what's great about cinema. I still think we have forgotten about what's great about the cinematic experience, going and sitting in a dark room, a massive screen, surround sound, and the fact that directors have commented that IMAX is the future of cinema and the cinema-going experience. Why shouldn't we embrace this Japanese movie and get behind it? So I will certainly be doing my best to go see Godzilla Minus One when it comes out on December 15th, and I really hope that I have given a decent reason why you should bother to go and see it. If I haven't given you a good enough reason, let me know in the comments below. If I've somehow convinced you, or you were going to go see the film anyway, please let me know in the comments as well. That's it for this video. Please give it a like, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and please click the bell icon to receive notifications for all of my videos. That's it for now. Thanks for tuning in.